Hey everybody, my name is Taylor Glenn and this is my channel, Taylor Tries, where I try new things and I try to teach you everything about juggling that I know, at least, which is a lot. So today I'm gonna cover something that I get asked about all the time, which is, why can't I get better at 5 balls? Why is my 5-ball cascade stuck? Maybe it's at 5 catches or 10 catches, or maybe you can run it for a bit, but you never really felt comfortable with it. Well, this video is for you. I have 5 main tips that I think will help with your 5-ball cascade to get past some of those plateaus that you might be experiencing. All right, tip number 1, understand what is actually happening in the 5-ball cascade. This might sound really obvious, but believe me, take a moment and actually think about what is happening in the 5-ball cascade. Remember when you learned how to juggle 3, or if you've tried to teach somebody else how to juggle 3, how you have to remind them that you don't throw them all up really fast. There's just one, and then the other, and then the next one, and it's just one ball in the air. 5 balls is very similar, and I know you know this logically, but remind yourself this when you're practicing 5. There are just 3 balls in the air. You don't need to rush to get all of them out. People always try to just go really quick and get them all out of their hands like they're trying to do a 5-ball flash. That's not how 5 works. It's 3 balls in the air. Basically what I'm trying to say, go slower. It's much slower than you think. I think this is the hardest part about learning the 5-ball cascade, the timing. When we learn 4, timing doesn't really matter. You can sort of BS your way through it, even if the timing is all sorts of messed up. That doesn't work with 5. Figuring out the timing between each throw is essentially the hardest part of this pattern. Of course, accuracy matters as well, and I'm going to cover that in a little bit, but overall, timing is really important. Understand that it's slower than you think. It's only 3 balls in the air at once, and the 3 that are in the air are pretty slow. 1, 2, 3. This is why the flash is such a difficult exercise for the 5-ball cascade. You know, that 3-up clap? Because what that makes you think is that it is a boom, boom, boom. It's not. The 5-ball cascade does not go da-da-da. It just doesn't. It goes 1, 2, 3. If you do the 3-up flash correctly, then yes, it helps. But if you rush it, that's not what a 5-ball cascade feels like. It's slower. So, tip number 1, slow it down and try to focus on understanding the pacing of your 5-ball cascade. All right, tip number 2, stop rushing to do all 5 balls. I know it's fun to juggle 5. Everyone wants to do it. That's why we're here. That's why we're wanting to learn. It's so exciting. You want to start throwing them up as fast as possible, but you don't know how to juggle 5 yet. And the way that you get good at juggling 5 isn't by just drilling 5 balls and dropping every 5 catches. You can do it that way, and a lot of kids learn this way, but they also have a lot of energy and time. Even people like that will benefit from slowing down a bit in what they're trying to do. Just muscling through 5 balls is the least effective way to learn it. Do it more intentionally. Build yourself up. It might feel slower for the moment, but in the long run, it will pay off. You'll progress faster, and you won't hit so many plateaus or burn out because you can't figure out why you can't juggle 5 and you think you're broken. You're not. You might just be rushing to do 5 balls when you should be working on 3 and 4 ball exercises. I do cover 3 and 4 ball exercises in my tutorial. I recommend that you check those out. The 2 that I really recommend that you do are the hot potato 3 ball, aka short dwell time, where you're just trying to throw each ball as quickly as you can at a 5 ball height. And the second exercise is 5-5-2. That's the 4 ball exercise that goes right, left, pause, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right. Now wait, before you think that you've got this down and you do this and it's fine, let's talk about why you are doing these exercises. It's not just to be able to do a 3-ball cascade kind of fast. Of course you can do that. If you're working on 5, you should probably be able to do that. The question is, can you do it really precisely? And more importantly, can you do it precisely consistently? Same with 5-5-2. The whole point of these exercises aren't to just be able to do them. They're not that hard. That's why they're exercises. They're warm-ups for 5 balls. So when you work on this 3-ball hot potato and 5-5-2, take your time to really hone it in. These are the exercises you should be using to perfect your accuracy and your precision so that you're not having to do it when you have 5 balls up in the air trying to panic and figure out what's going on. Whatever your bad habits and issues are with your 5-ball cascade, I promise you they are going to show up in this 3-ball hot potato and 5-5-2, which is why we do it. And if 5-5-2 feels like it's too hard or too complicated and you just want to skip it because you think it's just like, it's not clicking and it doesn't make any sense and it's too hard, yeah, but guess what? It's not as hard as 5 balls. So if you're willing to invest the time into learning 5 balls, then you can invest the time into learning 5-5-2. Don't be a baby about it. Slow down, be patient, and just figure out how to do 5-5-2. It's not going to click right away. It'll take you a second. You'll have to figure it out, but so will 5. And this will be much faster. So stop fighting me on it and just do it. If you can do those really precisely, consistently, your 5 balls will progress so much quicker. The problem is everyone wants to jump to 5 because it's more exciting and there's probably a little bit of an ego thing involved. Be a little more patient, slow down, and try to work on these exercises more. Think of this time as your sort of training practice. You're using these to train your muscle memory so that when you do 5 balls, you're not having to make so many corrections on the fly. You can just focus on that first thing we talked about, which is timing. If I have one more person come up to me telling me that they can't figure out why they can't do 5 and then they've never done these exercises, that's why. Why can't I run a mile? Can you walk? No. Well, that's probably part of it. That's all I'm saying. All right, tip number 3. Practice. This is kind of an obvious one. And I know what you're gonna say. I do practice. I practice all the time. Yeah, but do it smarter, okay? Practice every day. It doesn't have to be a lot every day. Stop telling your brain that it always has to do like a big training session in order to work on 5. Pick them up for 5 minutes, and if you do and you drop a bunch, that's fine. It's all gonna help, especially if you do it every day. I'll tell you a story of when I was working on 7 and I went to Kyle Johnson, who is a fantastic person and juggler, and I was just complaining to him like, I don't know why I can't get 7 balls. I was kind of stuck. I was stuck around 30 catches. And he just looked at me and he said, do you practice every day? And I was like, no. And he's like, well, throw them every day and you'll get better. And guess what? I did. That's how that worked. So that's what I recommend. Practice every day. Even for a little bit, and like especially for a little bit, and vary your practice. One day take 2 minutes and try 5-5-2. Maybe the next day you do that again, and then you also do a minute of 5 balls. Maybe the next day you just do 3 balls at 5 ball height and practice looking at how that looks and whether you can make improvements. Do something related to 5 every day. And then yeah, try to pick up 5 and just do like a clean flash. Especially if you're hitting a plateau of some kind, try something different. It's really good for your brain when you're learning to mix up how you're approaching the thing so that it doesn't get stuck in a plateau. Tip number 4, think about what's actually going wrong. Especially when you're doing 5-5-2 and the 3 ball hot potato exercises, be looking for mistakes that you're making and be adjusting them as you go. That's why those are so great, because they're slower and easier for you to understand. You can make adjustments to each throw and really see all the common mistakes you're making. The big things I like to look for when I'm working on numbers juggling are the height. Make sure each throw is the same height. It's the first thing I try to knock off the list because that will mess up your timing, which was the first very important tip. Second is the width. Are they going too wide? Am I having to reach really wide and pick them up from out here? Third is the depth. Is one hand throwing away from me so they start twisting, or am I always walking away from me? And I try to approach them in that order. When you're working on those exercises and when you're juggling 5, when you're doing a 5 ball flash or a qualify, instead of just trying to juggle them really fast and get them all out of your hands, think about what's going wrong. Pay attention to the common things that might be messing you up. And make those adjustments a little more intentionally rather than relying on the back of your brain to figure them out, because that takes a lot longer. And sometimes it hits little roadblocks and it can't get past it without you doing some intentional work. A bonus pro tip for this, film yourself. Record yourself with a phone or a friend's phone or your parents' phone and watch yourself, especially if you don't have like a coach or a teacher. It helps provide an objective lens so that you can kind of separate yourself from what you're seeing, and you might see some obvious problems that you didn't notice were there before. You don't have to show it to anyone, just do it so that you can see what's going wrong. It'll save you a lot of time. All right, tip number 5, be patient. Like, be more patient. I think people rush into learning 5 way sooner than they should. I'll never tell you that you shouldn't want to learn something or shouldn't try to learn something. But realistically, 5 ball is a big jump in skill level for most people. Learning 4 is pretty simple. It's relatively easy in the grand scheme of juggling. Not to diminish how exciting and cool it feels that you've learned 4, or even to tell you that it's not an accomplishment. It is. But you can learn 4 balls really quickly. 5 does not come that easily. You have to work for it. It's very hard. It is a hard skill. In my experience, most people, from just starting to get kind of a crappy flash to running 5, it takes like minimum of 2 years. Now you can learn it faster than that, absolutely, especially if you have a lot of time and energy and you're willing to just try a bunch of stuff, or if you do it more intentionally with some of these tips that we're talking about. But realistically, it's gonna take time. Be patient with yourself. Know that if it takes you 2 years, that's not bad. That's probably above average. You're not going too slow. Don't beat yourself up. 5 balls is a long game. And it filters a lot of people out because they aren't willing to actually understand what's going on, to do exercises to build up to it, to practice every day, to make intentional adjustments, and have patience along the way. People just want it to come as easily as 4 balls did, and it won't. It's too hard. It is a hard pattern, but you can do it. I promise you. I've never met a person that I don't think can learn 5 if they do all those things. You have to give yourself time and you have to be patient with yourself. You'll also benefit from probably learning some other tricks besides just trying to jump from number to number. You can do that. It's just hard. You know, there are plenty of 3 and 4 ball tricks and patterns that can really help you just get a better understanding of how to juggle and how juggling works, that you can spend time on before you jump to 5, or at least while you're also working on 5. Don't limit yourself so much and just do 5. Those are my top 5 most important things. If you are getting stuck in 5 balls, if you're not improving, those are the things that I think you need to remember and I think will help you out. But everyone's different. I'm not sure if it will. I really hope that these do help you. And if they do, leave me a comment, let me know. If you can juggle 5 or you've been working on 5 and there's something that helped you, share it with everybody. Leave a comment, let us know. If there are any other questions or problems you have that you want me to address, leave them in the comments, let me know, and I'll try to make a video about it. If you got something out of this video, please give it a thumbs up. Helps me out, helps other people find the video, and it just, makes my little heart feel good, so that's nice. If you want to go the extra mile, give me a subscribe, and if you want to go even further, you can become a patron or a member of the Juggler's Guide. I appreciate all of those so much. Thank you so much. And I'll see you next time for more juggling or other stuff, who knows.